So this is an Elddis Odyssey 634. I'm going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. The hitch up procedure here at the front, we go through in person on site, and we'll demonstrate exactly how this works. We've also got a separate video for that if you need extra advice and support with that. The front locker, you've got your gas regulator, as you can see. You've got a gas shut-off valve down the side here. And then you've got your gas pipe work here. The van, this particular van, has got a super startup pack with it, so by the time the customers collect, it will have a gas bottle on board the van. So that is already fitted for you. On each side of the van, you've got a wind down leg, which looks like this, and you'd have to put the winder into the side of the van and wind the legs down and up, depending on which way you are going to, whether you're setting up or packing up. On the side of the van, this particular van hasn't been cleaned yet, so you'll have to bear with me on this. On the side of the van, you've got your water pump connection, which you'll push into place here, and it will drop into your rack roll. Next up, you've got your Truma heating and hot water vent. So this is gas flue essentially. To remove it, you pull the cover off from the bottom, and you will need to remove this if you're ever using the van on gas. Going down the side of the van, you've got your wheels on this particular van. No motor mover on this van, but we've got the wheels, and we will torque the wheel nuts before you leave site, so you can see they've been tightened correctly. Next up, you've got your grey waste pipes coming out the side of the van, so your waste master would sit down on the floor and potentially underneath the van slightly, and your grey waste pipes would come down into the top of the waste tank itself. Next up, you've got a storage locker for underneath the bed at the rear of the caravan. That will allow you access to that, but you can also get to it from the inside of the caravan. Back of the van on each side, haven't got the legs down at the moment, but as you can see again, you've got both your wind down legs on each side of the caravan. On the far side of the caravan, you've got your flush tank. So this tank here would take 3.5 litres of water. You'd have to open it up and tip this in by watering can, for instance. 3.5 litres of water in here, and a cap full of the pink fluid. In the cassette below, which obviously you need to open up, is your toilet waste cassette. To release it, you pull the orange cap up and pull it towards you. And on top here, you've got a neck here that you turn out to empty the waste out of it. But before you use this, you need to remove it from the van. You need to put a litre of water in here and a cap full of the blue fluid. On the back of the van, on the side of the van, sorry, behind the door, you've got your fridge vent. So the bottom one here will take in some cool air, and the top one will blow out some warm air when the fridge has been used. And then you've got your Truma air vent, which goes through into an awning if you had an awning up, and when you've got the heating on with the blown air, that will actually blow some warm air through into the awning. So if it's a chilly evening, you can still have the awning nice and warm. On the side of the van, down the side here, you've got your battery locker, and the battery's already in there, but that's a 110 amp battery, and you've got your connections on top, as you can see, and then you've got your power lead coming in the side of the van, which is connected to the power source on site. Behind that, you've also got your 3-pin plug, and the 3-pin plug there is so you can have power out to your awning. On this side of the van at the front again, you've also got then your other wind down leg for this side of the van, and then you've got your barbecue gas point underneath the cover at the front. When you initially come into the van, you're going to come to the power controls just by the door. You've got your main power switch just here. You've got your voltmeter, so you can see what the power level is coming into the battery on board the van. And then you've got your water pump on this side. To fill the water system on this van, you'll go underneath the seat on the far side of the caravan. And down, just down, well, it's a little bit darker on this video, but down there with the pipe work that's running to the front of the caravan, you've actually got a yellow valve on that particular line. The yellow valve is a drain down valve and a fill valve, so what you need to do is, when you want to fill the water system, you'd put it into the position it's in now, which you'll be able to see better when you're here in person. Put it in the flat parallel position with the floor, and then when you want to drain the water system, you need to lift it upright so it drains all of the water out of the caravan. So with the valve in that position, what you can do is, you can go over to the control panel, or over to each tap on board the van. As you can see, you've got the water pump in the sink. You turn the tap round to above the sink and open it on the hot side of the water heating, or hot side of the tap. You'd open it right up on the hot side, so you can then fill the water system. In the bathroom, you'd also do the same thing. As you can see, our cleaners at the minute are doing a fantastic job of cleaning our vans. You'd open the tap up on the sink in the bathroom, also on the hot side, and then also the tap on the shower as well. At that point, with your rack roll connected, you can come over to the control panel next to the on the control panel just here, and turn on the water pump, and that'll be able to fill then you'll be able to fill the water system up. Once the water system's full, you'll have water coming out of all the taps on board the van, and then once it's full, you can go to your water heating. So you've got two control panels here. You've got the first one here, which is the hot water on electric. So if you want the hot water on, you can flick this switch down and start warming the water on the electric side of the water heating. If you wish to ignite it on gas, you can turn this dial round to the little gas symbol on the side here. The green light will appear here if it has ignited. If it fails to ignite, you'll get a red light appear, and you can control the temperature of the water on gas on the dial just here, between 30 and 70 degrees of water temperature. As I said before, if the red light appears and it has failed to ignite, and it could mean you have got the gas bottle turned off, or potentially the gas has run out. If the gas bottle is on, I would advise you go over to the hob, ignite the hob or the cooker, so you've got gas through to that particular component, because that is the last point on the gas system. On the bottom control panel down here, you've got the electric heating. So to turn that on, you press the switch on here. And then down the side of this particular dial just here, you've got 500, 1000 and 2000 watts. What that relates to is the amount of power coming into the caravan on site. For instance, if you're on a 500 watt site, you'll spin the dial around to 500 watts, and you won't know what that power supply is till you're on the site, and you would have to ask them when you're there. Once it's turned on, onto 500 watts for instance, you can use this dial just here to control the temperature of the heater, and you've got the option between 1 and 9 on this dial. To turn the heating back off, you'll turn the switch off here, then turn the dial back round to the 0 position. If you want to use the heating on gas, you can also do that. You've got a dial just here, you spin the dial round to the gas position, turn the gas valve on, hold down the gas valve, and then through this window at a 45-degree angle, you'll get your pilot light come on. To turn the gas supply back off, you'll turn the dial back round to 0, and once it has ignited, the igniter will automatically cut out. If you want to use the heater on blown air, the dot in the centre here will say that will essentially let you know the heat is going to come out the front of the heater. If you want to use the blown air, so the heat comes out the vents around the caravan, you can flick this switch over to the wave symbol, and that will turn on the blown air, and then you've got your fan speed on top, a bit like in your car. And if you want it on automatic blown air, so it cuts in and out with the thermostat, you can put it onto the A, and then it won't continuously run, it will cut in and out as it needs to. With the fridge, you've got your power on. As you can see, you've got power on, so the power is now coming onto the fridge. To select the power supply you want to use, you've got the grey button on this side, and as you can see, it will flick across. The power symbol here, the plug symbol, will let you know that the power is on, and you can control the temperature on the fridge on the button on the right hand side. If you want to put the fridge on as a cool box while you're towing, so when you get to site, the beers and wine are nice and cold, you can put it onto the battery symbol on the left hand side. As you can see at the moment, there's no power supply connected at the front because we're not connected to a car. So it's come up with a warning symbol 10. And if it fails to ignite, a 9 will appear just here. On gas, sorry, if it fails to ignite on gas, you'll have a 9 symbol appear just here, and then you can control the temperature again on the button on the right hand side. Again, if for any reason it fails to ignite, it could be the gas bottle's empty, or potentially it needs bleeding, so the power, so you need to ignite the hob again to get gas through to the fridge itself. Next to that, you've got your control for your heat going through into the awning. If you don't want any heat going into the awning, you'll put the switch down, and then if you want heat going through, you'll lift it up to the top. The last thing I'm going to go through on this particular van is the toilet system. The shower works like your household, and so does the sinks, etc. But if you want to flush your toilet, you've got a blue flush button on top. You've got a full indicator light just here for the cassette underneath the van, so that will turn red if the cassette is full. And then down the front, you've got your waste flap for the toilet. So if the toilet is in, the flap is in this position, the toilet flap is closed, and if you push it across, the flap is open, so you can empty the waste out, so you can allow the waste to go down into the cassette underneath the van. I would advise that you shut that flap back off when you have finished using the toilet. So as I said, that's the last thing we're going to particularly go through on this caravan. If you have any further questions on this van, please give us a call here at the Caravan Company, and we'll do all we can to assist you. Thank you very much. Bye bye.